So what's in the future, Nick? You got any new recording plans?
Yeah, we're getting ready probably after we get back from this short one. We got a little 10-day run out to New England. When we get back, we're gonna be recording another couple of CDs. I'm gonna probably do another one that's real similar to the last one with a little bit more rock kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna record a traditional Chicago blues album, and I think we're gonna do a all instrumental CD too. So
Cool.
I don't know if we're gonna put them all out together or stagger them or what we're doing, but
That's a lot of records.
I just get, man, this was a slow, dreary winter, man. It wasn't a whole lot of work, so I was doing a lot of writing.
Yeah.
So now I'm ready to get going, and
Cool. When you write, do you just sit down in your studio and lay down like ideas with your guitar and your voice?
No, I'm too lazy for that, man.
Okay. How do you remember it then?
It's amazing for a lazy guy, man. I can keep it up there somehow. Sometimes I write it down, and sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
I'll figure out something, and I'll bring it to the guys, and we'll play it through a couple times, and that way, if I forget, at least the bass player or the drummer knows, and
Yeah.
we do rehearsals every now and then. So luckily, my drummer brings his little recorder.
Cool.
So sometimes we have it on that, but
Uh-huh.
for the most part, I keep it upstairs. I still have a little bit of space left up here.
And if you had to pick your favorite recording rig, say, okay, Nick, we're going to the studio, you can only bring one guitar and one amp, what would it be?
It would probably be that old SG. That SG's been on every record that I've played on.
Uh-huh.
And it's really versatile, man. I can make that guitar sound like a big box. I can make it sound like a Stratocaster.
Really?
And probably my Silver Face Deluxe too.
Uh-huh.
That amp it records really well.
Yeah. Great studio amps. You got the original speaker in it, or?
Yeah.
Cool. And what's your same question regarding a live rig?
Live rig right now, I'm using Category 5 amplifiers.
Mm-hmm.
Company out of Dallas, Texas. And man, it seems to be. It took me a while to get used to it, but now that I've been playing it for over a year, it's a really versatile amp. The model that I have is called the Tempest, and it's a 2-channel amp. One channel is based off a JTM 45, and the other channel is based off like a 50-watt late
Mm-hmm.
60s Marshall Plexi.
Uh-huh.
So they're both fairly clean, but you can get them to break up, and what I like about the amp is it has kind of like a built-in attenuator.
Oh, yeah.
So you can lower that and turn the volume up and still get some nice breakup at low volumes.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he's been making stuff for a lot of guys. I know Warren Haynes is using his amp, and Joe Bonamassa, and a lot of the blues guys are lately I've seen been
Uh-huh.
playing them, and I know he supplies amps for the Blues Foundation when they do that IBC too. So
Cool.
I use that, and then I'm not real picky about my guitars. I get real bored easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I generally carry 3 guitars with me on the road: a Tele, a Strat, and an SG.
Mm-hmm.
And one night I may play the Tele all night long. And
Yeah.
the next night I may play all 3 of them, and just
Cool.
depends on the room, how the room sounds, and how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Have you heard anybody on record or live, any younger blues artists coming up that we might not know about?
My favorite guitar player, and he's younger than me, but he's been around for a while, and I don't know if some of your listeners know him, but Kirk Fletcher.
Uh-huh.
That guy to me is, just scary good.
Uh-huh.
He plays, really beautiful whenever he plays, and he can play anything, jazz, country, blues, rocks,
Mhm.
his old gospel.
Cool. Kirk's out in L.A.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played with the T-Birds for a while,
Right.
and
Yeah. I think I heard he just had a new solo record out.
yeah, it's a really cool record.
Cool. Cool.
Guys like that, there's a few other guitar players I really like. Everyone's heard of that Derek Trucks. I like that Derek Trucks guy.
Yeah.
And he's cool. Some of the younger blues guys that are out there that are playing the traditional blues too, man. Like the guys from Kilborn. Those guys, they got a way of playing. They sound. You can't look at them. and think that that's coming from them. You almost got to turn away
Yeah.
and listen, because they're just a bunch of you know, I hope they don't see this, but if they do see this, I don't mean it, fellas, but they're a bunch of hillbilly rednecks from down south with long beards, and they don't look anything like they sound, but when they get up on stage, they just got like this really like greasy slop that sounds beautiful when they play, man.
They might want to use that quote in their press kit. And for our viewers and listeners out there who are maybe just getting into blues, aren't that familiar with it, maybe aspiring guitar players, I ask this to a lot of my guests, any advice for, say, a rock guitar player looking to get into blues, or somebody who is, you know, just kind of learning the basics about the music, some good starting points?
Yeah, for me, it was, you know, everyone's different, but for me, the way I did it was I just followed, you know, the path backwards. I found out who my favorite guitar player was. Then I wanted to know who his favorite guitar player was.
Yeah.
And then I found that guy. And then I wanted to find out who he listened to. And then I wanted to find out who he, you know, I just kept going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was how I learned, you know, it kind of brought me back to, you know, the simplest form of it, I guess, you know, because as it went back further, you know, each guy would, you know, someone would talk about B.B. King, and then next guy would talk about Otis Rush, next guy would talk about Muddy Waters and
Yep.
Jimmy Rogers, and then T-Bone Walker, and, you know, and I had to find out who these guys were, and then just,
Yeah.
the only thing you can do is, like, you know, immerse yourself in them. If you really want to do it,
Yep.
and you want to do it right, you know, you gotta eat it, breathe it, walk
Mhm.
it, talk it, live it, smoke it, smell it, whatever you got to, you know.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right, Nick. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you,
Great
Dave.
having you on.
Thank you.